Hey guys, what's going on? David Arang here. So today's video is about Haiti. 3 weeks ago, I had my wedding there. But a part of my wedding planning, what I wanted to do was go to two special locations that meant so much to me, and I've never gotten to see them. One is La Citadel, and the other is Palace Sans Souci. Now, very quickly, let me just tell you about these two places, but I'll let you actually see it momentarily. Now, I'm gonna have a separate video when it's just strictly about the Citadel, but I'll show you how it looks at least. Now, La Citadel is the largest fortress in the Americas. Now, if you don't know, Haiti, or people of Haitian descent, are the only people of black people to ever free themselves successfully. And not to say there weren't any slave revolts in the Americas or other parts in Latin America, but it was the only successful one where they were able to, govern themselves, be sovereign, etc. And so I want you guys to sit right here. We're gonna have a person come on, tell you a little bit about the history of these places and the impact it meant to blacks all over the world.
Of the palace via brick canals in order to keep them cool. It was a kind of air conditioning system for that moment. Wow. And that worked. And a part of that water was drained here to reach the king's swimming pool right here, and that fountain too, the barracks and the jail right here. And when the water went up from the this fountain to water the king's flower garden, which was from this wall to the building over there. Yeah. You just can imagine how beautiful was this palace for the beginning of the 19th century. The King Henry Christophe built it as his residence for his administration, but also to show to the Europeans that he received their visit from time to time, what former slaves could do. He meant by this that we weren't only good for slavery. This is what we could show to the new world. Above all these Sans Souci Palace or Citadel are the most important realizations made by former slaves in the entire world. It is to say that if all the Muslims thinks to go to the Mecca even once in their life as a place of pilgrimage, all the slaves descendants of black people should have come here as a place of pride, because never former slaves built things more important than Sans Souci Palace or Citadel.
Yeah, but I got a question. What happened to the palace?
It was destroyed by an earthquake on May 7, 1842. Wow. In all this, the King Henry Christophe committed suicide at the second level right here.
The king committed suicide?
He committed suicide here.
After he built it?
No, because the country was divided into two parts. There was a war from time to time between the two parts. And the King Henry Christophe had a stroke. His right side paralyzed on August the 15th, 1820, at the Church of Limonade. Limonade is a town which is about 16 kilometers from here. And they took care of him in a castle he had over there, which named Chateau Bellevue. After almost 2 months of killed and betrayed by some of his generals, and also the rebel from the south invaded the north, and the king learned about the defeat of his army, and they took him here, and he tried to ride his horse once. He fell down the first time, the second time. After the third time, he came back here and he called his family. He gave them some instructions, and his wife to whom specifically testified with respect. And he said, a great man doesn't have to survive on his glory, when he started 13 years he disappeared. And it went on those words that he killed himself with a silver bullet in his heart. And after that, his wife gave 21 pieces of money to some soldiers and asked them to bury the king somewhere secretly inside of the Citadel in order not to profane his body. They start crying, long life to the crown prince, long life to the crown prince, but the rebels arrested him and they buried him alive in a well incarceration. He was 17 years old. And the crown prince. And after that, Boye, the president who reunited the country, came here, according to the historians, and he found $16 million in gold, and 16 million good in cocoa and coffee, and 8 billion good in cotton that the King Henry Christophe was saving in order to buy the Dominican Republic from Spain. Oh. He was already in negotiation, so he could buy from the Dominican Republic, but he didn't have a chance to fulfill his dream. While Boye wasted all that money and paid to the French the compensation or indemnity for our independence that will go on the price of our blood. After that, the rest of the family, they went passed by Port-au-Prince to go to England. From England, they went to Italy, and specifically to Florence first. From Florence, they went to Pisa. It was there that the first family's daughter was named Athénaïs. She died in 1831. Their second daughter was named Amethyst. She died in 1839. And Christophe's wife. Yeah, they inaugurated this.
This is a palace.
Yeah, they inaugurated this palace on October 13, 1813, a Sunday. It was the King's Henry Christophe's residence and also his administrative building, because all the decisions leading that kingdom were taken here in this palace. But from here we can see the garage for the chariots and the stables for the horses. And in front of the big tree, there was the mint and the queen's jewelry. It was there that they printed money. And over there, they had a very large library with specifically English books, because the king's policy was to make of English the official language of his kingdom. That's why he made of a lot of British teachers came here to help him. And a lot of them, they were so well treated that a lot of them accepted the Haitian citizenship there. And on the top, it was the queen's flower garden. Right here they had a sewing school, a cooking school, and an observatory too. And the apartment for the crown prince was right here. On the top it was the printing, very advanced for the moment. And behind the coconut trees they had the military hospital.
Okay,
yeah.
Okay, behind.
And it was the officers' headquarters, and the street that they are trying to preserve is older than the palace itself, because it was under the shadow of the street that the king used to settle disputes among his subjects. It is also said that those who are guilty of crime used to be hanged.
Hey guys, thank you for watching that. It really moved me up until this day, and just to be in those buildings and just realizing what my ancestors have done. And it just gave me so much energy, and it really makes me want to push as much as I could, because what people were able to do great things with very little, and with a big vision. And so that's what I seek to do in the future. Let me know below if you've never heard of this before, these things that you've seen, and let me know if you have any questions, and I'll be able to help you. One last thing that really caught me is when our guide person said, much like Muslims, you know, once in their life, they have to make a pilgrimage, if they could, to Mecca. Blacks should actually do the same in terms of actually going to these places to actually see what the ancestors were able to do, just really out of slavery. These were the people really just out of slavery. Even Henry Christophe himself was a slave, and they were able to do this shortly after. So very amazing, very powerful. Until next time, Dave Durang, No Frontier, over and out. See you.